Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome back to another Web Dev Junkie video. So in this one, I stumbled upon another YouTuber who happened to do a live stream of this site called battlesnake.com. And the whole idea of this site is you basically program a snake using your own REST API, and you try to solve these different challenges. So for example, the easiest challenge to start with is they have a challenge where your snake has to survive as many steps as possible. So I managed to get mine to be 113 steps. But the idea, so if I run this is the snake that I actually programmed, and it managed to get 113 turns before it kind of ran into a wall. So that is the main idea. You basically you can create a snake. I don't know, I'm kind of new to this site, so I'm not really sure. I think you go up here, click on your icon, you go to Battlesnakes, and then you can basically create a snake right here. So create new Battlesnake, and I already did this. But when you create a new Battlesnake, you point it to a REST API. So in this case, I have a REST API that is hosted on this REPL.it URL. So to give you a quick overview, there is like a template that you can, I think when you click create new Battlesnake or whatever, follow the tutorial, they tell you how to do this. But basically I created a REPL.it. It gave me a starter pack. All this code was given to me except for some of this logic, which I actually implemented myself. And you basically build out this REST API, which kind of handles a couple of endpoint requests. So when the game starts, your snake client is going to make a request to the start endpoint. And that's where you can kind of cache information about the game type or the game info, the challenge type, etc. And then every time the snake decides that it needs to move on your web client, it's going to call this REST API on the /move endpoint. Okay. So in this case, we are calling a method called handle move, so all this code you're seeing here is just something I wrote by hand to basically tell the snake how to move, how to function. So once you have your REST API running, you can click a run button and that'll start. I guess I should stop it first. Your program is already running. So I'm gonna click that run button. I don't know why it says my program's already running. So let me just refresh the page. Maybe something is broken about this. All right, let me cancel it. How about that? Let me try to rerun this. And again, this is just basically your own, I don't know how they do this behind the scenes. Maybe it's like a Docker instance that runs down here, but this is a live Express service that you can run just by going to REPL.it, spinning up an Express service, and you can connect to it. This is the URL that you're going to be using. So you basically create a snake, you paste that URL here, like I said, click save, and then you can start actually testing out your snake. So if you were to go back to the challenges, for example, and I wanted to show you how to test out this solo challenge, I could click attempt challenge and I could click on my snake. So I made a snake called first Battlesnake. And when I click start challenge, that's when it's going to hit your backend and basically figure out how your snake can function. I have a bug where it crashes when it can't actually find a direction, but for the most part, if I had more console logs, you would have seen it print out every time that this UI made a request to my backend. But the gist is it basically hits your move endpoint a ton of times to figure out how to move the snake. And then when you click play, it kind of replays what happens. So this is actually how it figured out how to move based on my REST API. And at some point it kind of ran into itself because my AI is not that smart. So what you can do, you can basically go in here, you can make some modifications, you can change it. Like just to kind of show you, let's say we wanted to hard code it to always move up, right? I have all this logic, but if I just hard coded this and restarted my server, now my snake should always just move up and then run into the wall. So if I go down here and say retry challenge, again, that hits my backend REST API and it basically simulates what the snake would do. So if you see here, it just went straight up and it died. So two awesome things that I learned from just stumbling upon this. So this site, REPL.it, is actually pretty sick. You can host whatever you want and you actually get a real URL that you can play around with. So this is the first time using it. I'm really impressed. I would like to actually figure out how they do this. They're probably using Docker or some type of container behind the scenes. And then this whole system of how you train your AI is also really cool. Yeah, just to continue with the overview, there's other challenges as well. And some of these you could probably fix by just like trying to make the snake do as many steps as possible. And then when it gets hungry, because you have to eat this food or else your snake will die and then you lose the match. So in this case, he basically just keeps moving until he gets hungry. He'll eat a food and he'll keep on just moving as much as possible. I think that's how you can kind of hack at this challenge. Well, they have a ton of different other challenges. Like this one is try to grow your snake to the longest length possible. This one is have two AIs that basically fight each other or try to survive as long as possible on the board. This one is 4 AIs that you code and you have to try to keep these as alive as long as possible. So they have all these cool different challenges that you can try to make new snakes and make new APIs for it. And they also have arenas, so you can actually have your AI battle other AIs, which I thought was pretty cool as well. So definitely check this out. They also have competitions. I'm not going to be really big into this. I just wanted to try it out and see what it's like. But I might try to challenge myself and see if I can make maybe a couple of these work. So if you are interested in seeing more of this, be sure to leave me a comment, give me some feedback, leave me a thumbs up if you like this idea of making more videos about this. So for those who are interested about how my current logic works, it's really naive. I spent maybe an hour trying to code this up. But what happens is every time the snake is about to move, you get information about like where is your snake's XY location, where are all the body pieces of your snake, the board information, like how many grids, length and width of the board, or width and height of the board. You also get where the food locations are. So basically what I do is I just push on a bunch of move locations from my snake, so left, up, down, and right. And then I kind of filter them down to make sure that I can't go out of bounds. So this is how I keep them inside of the board. And then I also check to make sure that I'm not going to move into a potential body piece. So I basically filter out further to make sure I'm going in the right direction. And then finally, I do some min calculations to find out the closest food to me. And I move towards that closest food. And then I just return a response with my move direction. So obviously this approach doesn't really work that well because I only got 113 and the top score is 2,307. But you could play around with it and try to find other solutions to try to hack it to make it live as long as possible. All right, y'all, that's about it. So if you enjoyed watching this video, be sure to leave me a thumbs up because it helps my channel grow. If you're new to this channel, be sure to click that subscribe button because I'm going to be posting videos like this in the future that are hopefully really entertaining and educational. And then lastly, be sure to leave me a comment if you want to see more videos like this where I just kind of find new things to challenge yourself with in terms of programming and JavaScript and web development. Let me know. I definitely recommend that you try it out for yourself. Create an account, create a REPL.it account, and just have some fun. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.